Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dear humanity, I've come today to look at issues concerning health. We are looking at health issues, or the topic is health, and we are looking at things that affect lives of men, young men, who are not aware of about their lives. They are not aware of how to look after their health in terms of what we call how to look and love their lives. They are being alive, being normal and okay in your health, being in good health, being in good health. Your healthy well-being is healthy. Is a very, very important thing. And one of those foundation that makes a human health in good terms with yourself is to be able to understand that you are more than 100%, or let's say more than 10,000% or 10,099% responsible for you being in good health. With that, I mean being sure that you don't have to easily hand over your health to gamblers. Which, when we talk of sleepless gamblers, there are men out there who say, according to this, one of the issues that leads to that is that young men of today, they do not know that being in good health is one of the greatest assets that any young man can possess. Being in your good health is one of the greatest assets when you are in these areas as a young man, because whatever investment that you do on your body, that means that whatever that you eat, whatever that you consume as food, has to be something that your body is able to take on, if it is according to health standards, or in terms of because I'm giving my advice based on a spiritual perspective, not whatever, but I also include some health whatever applications whereby I look at what a doctor says and what spiritual interpretations say, as well as what medical interpretations or medical practices say about the issues we are going to discuss. The big word in red says gambling. Gambling is a very wide subject, but we are looking at health, a human body, and the issue of gambling with the blood in your system. The blood in your system that runs your system. The blood in your that runs your system, you to be able to walk and run as fast as whatever you can think of, is that you have to make sure that you are not doing any gambling with whatever that you eat. With that, I mean, there are things which can easily put your blood system or your blood mechanism system into disrepute with yourself as well as your own body. I'm talking about gambling with the blood system. As we see, Anyone who has ever been to a medical institution, when you enter a medical institution, they want to find out what is bothering you. They will say, we have to look at your blood and see, maybe we will find out what is wrong with you. If you are in a state of that you are not feeling well, or you are not in whatever, they will have to look at the structures of your blood and red and white blood cells and what have you, to make sure to be able to diagnose what is making you to be not feel well within your body. But as an advice from a spiritual perspective, kind of in infusion with health, healthy applications of spiritual whatever into health well-being, you have to take responsibilities as an individual. Not wait until when you have to go to a hospital and say, they tell you, you give us your blood and then we have to check what is bothering you. One of the responsibilities, and one of the most important responsibility that every young man out there needs to put in their mind, in their head, is the never gamble with the blood in yourselves. The blood that is what builds every part of your body. Never gamble with that. Never gamble with the blood or the red and white blood cells in your bodies. As human beings, never take any gamble with that. It's not something that you should put on the table, or it's not something that you should recklessly just throw on the table and say, I can't drink, today I'll drink 5 bottles of champagne. Extravagantly, you go on whatever in a club and throw 5 bottles or 10 bottles of champagne. My people, why am I again kind of wailing about alcohol? Young men, this message is for young men, because the other messages which have been sending around the world was directed at women. But now we are looking at young men. Young men, many of you, they think that throwing an extravagant display of bottles of champagne on a table they think that is a healthy kind of display of abilities. No, my young man out there, that is one of the way that when you go or when you take your life, that what makes you kind of find pressure in your early years is throwing extravagant bottles of champagne, what you call expensive. And you throw them on a table and say, you start wallowing and drowning in those bottles. Young man, you know what you're doing? That money that you've spent on those expensive, and you throw an extravagant display of bottles of champagne on your table, is one of the hidden materials of building a retirement pain store. And it won't be a retirement pain store, because it will be a pain store. You are building a pain kind of whatever where you will go, and after you have consumed all these bottles of champagne every other day, you will find yourself that every part of your body is kind of twitching with pain. Every part of your body is doing what? Twitching with pain. Why? Because you are gambling, that you are throwing extravagant displays of bottles of champagne and cognac and John Walker and whiskeys. Do you know what that does to your muscles? Because your red and white blood system is the one that carries whatever that you put in your body and carries in every part of muscle. And the most important thing about alcohol is that every unit of alcohol that enters your body does not come out. The gunk, the toxins do not come out of a human body. Why? The human body does not have the mechanisms and does not know how to remove alcohol, toxic gunk, toxins from the human body. Because every unit or element of alcohol that you consume, it will go and deposit itself in the liver first. After the liver has is piled up with tons and tons of whatever elements of alcohol, the rest, and from the liver, it will circulate, or it will attach itself, every element of alcohol, it will attach itself on either a red cell or a white blood cell. First of all, when they attach on the alcohol, toxin, gunk, toxin elements attach themselves on your red and white blood cells, they'll kill every electrical spasms in the red and white blood cells, causing your brain neurons to go into a phase, what we call a partial paralysis. A partial paralysis is a state whereby the brain cannot send any or cannot apply any reflex or cannot do any reflex functions to the nervous system of a human being, because once you consume alcohol, what alcohol toxic gunk elements does is it disables, it kills the electrical spasms in red cells and white blood cells, causing them to be disabled completely. So once the electrical spasms that are in red and white blood cells are disabled by alcohol toxin gunk, the neurons are kind of, they go into what you call a paralysis. They go into a partial paralysis, whereby you wouldn't realize it that you are in a partial paralysis, but medically, once the brain neurons they don't have any whatever to spark whatever their ability to function. That means partial paralysis, because what comes after that is that you, as a person who is consuming alcohol at that very time, you cannot articulate reason, accountability to reason, because your reasoning accountability has been the ability, the neurons to regulate reasoning accountability of yourself is been disabled or kind of in a partial paralysis. The brain is in a partial paralysis. So you are half dead. Your brain is half dead. And also, people should take this, and medical the people do medicine in terms of neurologists, the people who say they are neurologists, they should consider this as a very, very important, because they know that a human brain, in terms of, you are talking in terms of time, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. If a human brain neuron goes into a partial paralysis for more than 20 minutes, that spells one of the most deadliest whatever, because that, if it goes over 20 minutes, that means that every other organ in your body has been put out of action. It has been kind of put out of its natural, balanced sequencing and rotational, functional order. So it becomes, the program in your body is crushed. It's taken out. You understand? Because of the toxic gunk elements which attack and disabled every electrical spasm in the red and white blood system. So the first thing when you if you are able to crawl and get to your house, when you fall on the bed, the next day you wouldn't be able to raise yourself up because the head has the neurons have been damaged. That's when you people wake up and you say, I have a hangover headache. A hangover headache. A hangover headache is a symptom, a diagnosis by your own body, your own brain, that tells you that your brain neurons were damaged. You don't need to go to a doctor to tell them that I was consuming alcohol and I have a headache which hasn't gone for 3 days. As I say to you, your own body sends a symptom which you people call hangover headache. That symptom confirms you before you even see a neurologist to tell you to find out what is wrong with your head or your whatever. Your own brain, your own body sends a diagnosis that your brain have been damaged because they were starved of the electrical spasms that regulates and manages and helps the neurons to do all the functions of communication and whatever to the heart and the entire rest of the body. So that is one of the gambling that young men do, when they do take on alcohol, as when a man goes in or a young man goes in a bar, or a club, and throws an extravagant display of champagne, cognac, and what have you on the table and says, Mama, young man, you don't know the hidden dangers of alcohol. Because by divine holy law, a divine holy law is a law laid down as a net to operate, to manage your body. By he who created the universe says, this is a divine law, which in it, there is something that Allah has said that this is a holy divine law, but it is also a prevention, whatever that says, prevention is better than cure. A divine holy law says, don't consume alcohol. Do not put alcohol in your body. Do not put alcohol in your body as any human being, because of what I've just explained. What happens to your body when you consume alcohol, or when alcohol enters your body. With the disablement of electrical spasms, every red and white blood disablement of the electrical spasms, that means that your body can easily have what you call you can easily hit what you call a mutation of blood, those red and white blood cells, because their electrical spasms have been killed or disabled. As they try to resuscitate themselves, the electrical spasm, the alcohol toxic gang, because it was stuck, will pierced into the red blood cell, whatever, and killed the electrical spasm. When they, in the process of red and white blood cells trying to kind of find a way to break free, the alcohol toxic gang does it, because it killed the electrospasm. And the electrospasm is like the whatever that manages how the sequencing rotations and whatever cycles of a red and white blood cell. Once that is dead, a red blood cell or a white blood cell can easily mutate and form into a blood clot or a cancer tumor. It's very easy, very easily, because every toxic gunk in there that is pinned on the red and white blood cell, whatever the red and white blood cell tries to kind of resuscitate and to break free from whatever, the application of alcohol that is in alcohol is to kill the red blood cell, the red and white blood cell. Once the red, white, and red cell tries to resuscitate and free itself from the toxic gang, the gang says, no. It pins down the red and white blood cell. So as a result, the red and white blood cell go into what the mutation of either into a blood clots, or cancer tumors. So, my people, we are talking about health matters, health issues. And we looked at alcohol as young men. Many of you young men out there, I don't know, you take alcohol to be, as I said, you go in a bar or a club and you throw an extravagant kind of disprover cognac and whiskeys and champagne and what. I've shown you what happens. The next day why you cannot get up, lift your head off the whatever, is because your head or your neurons in your head have been decimated and disabled. And the brain neuron takes very, very, very long time to repair themselves. If you get what you call a proper foods to manage that, to resuscitate them or to bring them back to life, which is very complicated because most of those foods are no longer in existence on planet Earth. Most of the foods that were created to apply and try and help and the bodies to kind of put their whatever in order. Most of those foods have been kind of also genetically adulterated because of the modern genetic war on whatever that man comes across. The minds of men think that we have to alter this, we have to put it on our desired way of life or standards, which means that mankind of the men today think that their intelligence or their whatever is better than who assembled these things and said, this thing should live under this condition, with this application, with whatever content is in it, to be able to help human beings. If there was a situation whereby someone needs help from or whatever, medical whatever from this plant, they will be able to do it if it remained unadulterated, if it remains in its natural balanced order. So that's why I said medicines that are able to repair or resuscitate and give life to whatever to the brain neurons are very, very rarely available on planet Earth. As you can see, I mean, you hear forest fires everywhere and what have you. What has caused kind of triggered off what you call a global warming or climate change. So these are things that are all in everything is running in a different direction. You human beings, you're saying, come and we apply it on our way of life. And the nature is saying, no, you cannot take it. I either destroy it myself and prevent it from being contaminated by drunken men and women. So, my people, we are talking of gambling. Gambling with health. And with health, that's the red and white blood cells in your bodies, which is those red and white blood cells are responsible for every muscle on your body. They are responsible for every muscle that you look on and say, I've got my bicep is kind of heavy. my friend, it's heavy because it contains no alcohol. Once you put alcohol in there, if you consume alcohol, as I told you, once it enters the body of a human being, it does not come out. Alcohol, because the body of a human being does not have the mechanisms and does not know how to remove any alcohol toxins from a human body. So what happens? Every element, toxic elements, after filling the liver, they will circulate in every tissue of muscles of a human body. They will circulate in every tissue. Once they settle in the tissues, they block off the renewal and regeneration of your body tissues, body muscle tissues. Once that happens, The next effect is very deadly because alcohol has a format which it applies to the human muscle tissues, which is a format which is a decaying, rotting, boiling effect, which causes every muscle to go in a state of because the entire muscle, the entire body is circulated with alcohol. The decay occurs, but in a very slow, and if you are not careful, you will be able to recognize that your body is rotting or is boiling. Because, as I said, once alcohol toxin enters the human body, they kill the electrospasm. After killing the electrospasm, they attach themselves onto every red and white blood cell. Those are alcohol toxic elements, causing. After they attach, they are whatever onto the every red and white blood cells. Wherever the red and white blood cells go, the toxic whatever goes. And after starting the triggering of the boiling, decaying, rotting effect of muscles, or which degrade the muscles, your body you start feeling pain in your knees, in every joint, in your back, in your legs, and your legs becomes heavy. There's so many things happen. But that effect comes because of the rotting, decaying effect of alcohol that it puts on every muscle tissue of the body of a human being. So, my people, these things are things that medically, I think they don't know because they rejected. They never wanted to know these things because they rejected the truth and they said, we want to do it our way. We want to do it our way. My way, this way which I'm telling you, is what is Allah said, laid down as a warning to men and said, do not, men and women, do not put alcohol in your bodies. Do not. Because we are talking, building what you would say, a retirement pain house, pain store. So whatever alcohol you have this week, next week, every hour, is a piece of material that you are building a pain store, whereby at the end of the day, when you feel that your body cannot carry you anywhere anymore because of pain, you are the manager of that pain store, which you build by throwing extravagant displays of cognac and champagne and John Walk and what are there, which we on is Jack Daniels and so many things. My people, those things, they kind of, anyway, what I'm saying to you is that building a pain store, you will be the beneficiary of that pain store, and you're the manager. You're the beneficiary and the manager. Whatever your body pain whatever the pain store, the pain generates, you are the one to suffer that pain. You are the one who will find and it takes you a minute to lift one leg if you are not in a wheelchair. If you're not tired and crippled and unable to lift your whatever, and you are moving by the help of a wheelchair. So, my people, alcohol is forbidden by a holy divine law which was laid down by Allah, the most holy, glorified Almighty Allah, who created every human being. Many of you, over the years, you did not know what are the dangers you put your bodies to when you consume alcohol. And the other thing which which you have not looked at. How does a human body mind changes? The mindset changes. And the way that person who consumes alcohol looks around themselves. First of all, we are told that the brain neurons of the brain of a human being, once they're starved of electrospasm, they go into a partial paralysis. A phase whereby a human brain is kind of in a state of half dead. The human body is half dead because a part of it is in a partial paralysis. Do you know what that does to the brain? Because the partial paralysis of the brain neurons, causes every natural balance, whatever, normal natural balance, Batha or original Batha, whatever, to go into either to be kind of destroyed or genetically disabled or cut off completely, which leads to your body kind of entering whatever that the alcohol effect, whereby we looked at and so that once the alcohol circulates in every part of your body, it causes what we will call a boiling, rotting, whatever of the every tissue in your muscle. The same whatever boiling, rotting, whatever effect also applies to the mechanisms of the neurons and how you think and what have you, causing you either, if you're not if you are not hit by what you call a dementia, you find yourself that you are moody. You are always moody. You are in a very moody state, where you one time you are fighting with you are this and that. That is brought on by what we call because the body natural balance has been kind of genetically altered. It has been genetically altered. The genetics are no longer balanced. They are no longer in order. And that applies to every whatever function that a white and red blood cell would have done, which we saw that your red and white blood cells cannot build or renew the muscle to whatever because of the rotting, decaying, boiling effect of alcohol that puts on the tissues, every tissue, muscle tissue in a human body. So that is what you wanted to know, maybe, if you want to know. If you don't want to know and you remain on your course to build a pain store or a pain whatever, I say my duty to to raise the flag and says that is where you are heading. The pain store is a very difficult whatever to live in, because every pain that that pain store generates, you are the manager, you are the beneficiary, and whatever pain it comes, if it is in the backbone, it's you who will be kind of tired and you cannot walk, whatever. And that's all I can say, young men. And also, before I go, I'll pinpoint out something. Maybe many of you find it something that occurs whenever they go out. Many of young men, you like driving. Driving and heading to a club, maybe somewhere up country. And so over the weekend, man, let's move up. You head up country. When you get up country, you drink. You throw the extravagant whatever. And after that, your brain kind of, because it's in a partial paralysis whatever mode, it will tell you can't drive. You're a Superman. You can't drive. You're a Superman. That is your brain kind of playing games of whatever. And that's what we call gambling. Gambling. So you jump in after swallowing many bottles of whatever, you jump in your whatever, and you start it, and you start racing. Hitting the road at 140 kilometers per hour, either in a restricted zone of 20 kilometers per hour, and or whatever that comes after that. You and I, or for me, what I can say is that you are very likely either to end your life through a drink and drive accident, or end the life of other innocent people or children out there while you are in a state of whatever that we call your mind is in a state of partial paralysis, whereby you cannot articulate any reasoning accountability of who you are and what is around you. So that's the situation. Allah says, do not bring it on the table. Do not display the tables of your club or your bar with extravagant bottles of cognac, champagne, and John Walker and Jack Daniels. Because at the end of the day, if you are drunk and you drove at 140, you might find yourself a car flipping over, either cutting off your leg or breaking your back. And what is that? What is that if a car flips over? And because you are drunk? So my people, don't drink and drive. Don't drink and drive. And alcohol, when you do put it in your body, remember, you are building or you are constructing a pain store whereby you are the manager, you are the attendant, and you are the beneficiary of that pain store. And for your information, if you get any complications like you need a heart operation or repair, it's just a temporary procedure. The problem is that do not go there. Don't head to find yourself that you need an operation to try and put your heart together. Don't drink. Don't start drinking. I never drink. Because me as an ICU, intensive care unit surgeon, I hate splitting your chest open, saying that, splitting your chest open so that I can do a temporary procedure of trying to help your heart, kind of whatever. So avoid that by applying. Prevention is better than cure. Do not drink, do not drive, do not expose yourself, or do not throw your whatever onto the ICU trolleys to end up in an intensive care unit, whereby me as a surgeon, I might be able to split your chest open, to remove or to repair, to give a temporary procedure, which if you whatever pain that you go through after that, is that you would add it on the pain store that you are building over the years. Mind your head, don't drink and drive, and mind the life of the others. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.